guys finally cashed that Kayla $20.
But
All the time that I had it begged. Hold on.
you have to get out. You have to, shit. Ooh, I got a cramp on my side. Ooh. Son of a
I don't know
whore,
again whether it's
sorry.
in there or not in a sec.
Crystal, get out this way and let us out this
Are you
way.
doing YouTube out here with Crystal?
Okay, everybody, I'm back. We was talking about gun violence and kids getting kidnapped, and it's ridiculous in this
You get in the
world.
front with her,
It's
Crystal.
crazy. I mean,
Okay. Love you.
seeing
Love you
so
one
many
more side,
shootings and
sweetheart.
kidnappings, it's
You got your
beyond
YouTube on?
ridiculous.
Do
The
your YouTube on your
governor
phone?
needs to do more. The president needs to do more. Yeah, they say, oh, it's a small town. It's not. It don't matter if it's a small town where you live. Don't matter if it's a big town or a big city. There is nasty people in this world today. Like I was saying, when I was growing up, I never had to worry about somebody kidnapping me and all that. I am back. Oh, thank you for your Cash App, too. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm back. I just had to get off for a minute because my husband was driving. He had to go somewhere real fast. Yeah, it is happening everywhere. It's sad. Like, it's a sad world today. And like, COVID going around, a couple of years ago, I think that was all the government, too. They wanted people to die because of how can I say it? Because too many people in this world. So they wanted people to get sick and die. Then they used to say, oh, let's take this shot. Let's put this stuff in our body. You ain't going to get sick. And look how many people took the COVID shot. That was supposed to prevent people getting sick, and they still did. It's just because they wanted people to put stuff in their body that nobody needed. I think it's made in the lab too. Like that's why my phone.
My
Oh,
phone.
that's why today I don't get shots. I don't get vaccinated. For one, I don't like shots, and for two, I'm not gonna put something in my body that they say, oh, it's gonna help you, and then further down the road, it fucks your body up. It fucks you up. You know what I mean? Hello, hello, welcome in. That's why my husband, he's like, oh, you're due for a vaccine. I'm like, I ain't getting it. Cause you know how I look at it. One day everybody's gonna die. Even if you don't get your vaccination shots, even if you do. But I want to live to the furthest that I can till I die. But I'm not gonna get some shot that they say you need to keep you alive, or you don't catch this or you don't catch that. It's just everything's made in a lab. It's crazy, like how people think, oh, let's just put stuff in our bodies that's gonna help us, and down the road, 10 years down the road, you start getting sick, and you try to backtrack. Well, why am I getting sick now? I thought this shot that I've been taking is gonna help me, and they don't. Like even when I was younger, I've never got shots. The only shots that I got when I was younger was mandatory is when I had to go to school. When you go to school, you have to get shots. Okay, that's different. And like when you get a certain grade, you have to go get whatever shot. Well, thank you. But like my kids, I don't even let them. I don't even take them to get their shots. The only time I take them to get their shots is when it's mandatory if they have to go to school. Because you have to get a shot to be in school. And I think that's stupid right there, too. I don't understand. I don't understand it. A kid have to. Hey, Bree. Brianna Hall is my niece, so everybody knows. But yeah, I think it's stupid that kids have to get shots and adults have to get shots. Nothing. I'm at your uncle's friend's house, so I went on live because there ain't nothing else to do. Just sit here. But I think, getting shots dumb. Like, in my eyes, like, the school always asks you, is your kids up to date on shots? I say, yeah, they ain't, though. Why? Because, I don't believe in that stuff. That's just putting stuff in your body that you don't need. I miss you too. But that's just like putting stuff in your body that you don't need. Like, that's how people, they say prevent getting sick, but it's a lie. The government's just doing it because there's too many people in this world and they try to get people to get sick. Like COVID, that happened. A lot of people died, even with the COVID shot. And it's still, it's crazy. That's because the reason why they made COVID go around, and I think just like any other kind of disease, is because what is it called? Like the numbers were high. There's too many people. So they try to get people to get sick to lessen them numbers. Can I see my uncle? I'll flash it. I'll turn it towards him. But it's crazy how this world is. Like, when I was growing up, I didn't hear, oh, well, you got to do this, or you're going to get sick, or you're going to die. But then the older I got, the more I heard more stuff. And it's like, it's just all made in a lab. Even if you don't get a shot, even if you do, you're still going to die one day. Yeah, the population, yeah. I can't remember the name, but yeah. Yeah, because, the population was so high when COVID went around, so they was trying to lower the population in this world. That's why there was so many people that died. So many people got the shot, and it didn't help. Look at the president, and it's just ridiculous. So, like how this world's coming to. Like the older I get, the more I hear about this world, and all these fightings with the military, and you know, it's crazy. Why can't we just stop with the war and just, move on with our lives and, you know, because, in the war they're killing innocent people too, like Iraq and Iran, all of that, the United States war going, the military going into it, it's crazy. I don't understand that. Why can't they just stop with the war and just because people's dying in the war that has families that has kids, like come on now. Well, the reason why people be mean Brie is because they don't have no sense of humor. Because people's ugly in this world. That's why people be mean. It's very sad. It is very sad. Like, you know, even my niece that's on here right now, Brianna, um, she's 12, and, I look at her like she's one of mine. I'm her aunt. But, I always tell her when you're outside, you have to pay attention to your surroundings because you never know. In an instant, somebody can snatch you up. Somebody can call you to the car and say, oh, I think I know who you are. Boom, you're gone. Thank you. But it's crazy how so many kids get kidnapped and, you have to always watch your back. And, you know, like these cops, they act like you have to be scared of them. And they're here for a reason is to protect you and make sure that nothing happens to you. But most of these cops around here, they don't care. They don't give a shit. I have to ask your uncle because I have a lot of stuff to do today still. Your uncle's helping his friend with his car, and then I have to do other stuff before I go home. We'll see, Brianna. I don't know yet. But there's so many ugliness in this world, and it's crazy. I mean, like I was saying on here. I mean, like there's too many trolls on here, and Crystal, like people, is on her YouTube, and they're trolls too. But like I said, I have a big heart. If somebody needs help, I'm gonna help them if I have it. Crystal, she's somewhere. I don't know where she. Oh, she's in the house, in your uncle's friend's house. But like I said, like if I have it, I will help whoever out. I'll be glad to. Even if I have my last dollar, and somebody needs a dollar, I'm gonna say here you go, cause that's how I was raised. Where I'm from, Detroit, there used to be a lot of homeless people on the streets. And I would take them blankets, clothes, anything that I could help them with. They would ask you, you'd be walking down the street, hey, do you got a dollar? And me being little, I'd look at my mom and say, Mom, do you got any change on you? He's asking or she's asking for change. I don't care what you bought with it. You could have bought beer, drugs, anything with it. I didn't care. It's the fact that you're helping someone out that's needing something. I didn't sit there and say, hey, what do you need it for? Are you going to buy drugs with it? Are you going to go drink with it? What do you need it for? I didn't care. I still had my mom give it to whoever. And to this day, me and being an adult. I've had people, when I go back to Detroit from Ohio, and people in Ohio asking you too, hey, you got a dollar? If I don't have it, I'm going to say, I don't have it. Next time if I see you, I'll give it to you. But, that's just being kind. And some people in this world don't know what kind means. It don't matter. It does not matter how you was raised. You are an adult and you're an older child. You should know better. It is bad. That's what I always teach my girls too. And I always tell them too. No matter what anybody's going through, because you never know what somebody's going through. Yeah, kindness is free because you never know what somebody's going through at that point of time when they stop you and they want to talk and have a conversation with you just because they don't want to think about what's going on. I am like your mom. I talk to people in the stores because you never know. Like they could have been having a bad day at work, or could have been a teacher having a bad day. You never know what they do, what they've been going through. So when somebody says hi to me at the store, I'm like, oh hi, how's your day? And then they carry on a conversation, and I sit there and talk to them. And sometimes you get to know people and see how people are in this world. Some people's are good, some people's are bad. You don't know who's the good ones or who's the bad ones until you have a conversation with them and see how they are and all that. And that's how I look at it. I stay to myself a lot. I don't have people like friends or nothing. It's just me and my husband and his cousin Leslie and Crystal at my house and my dad. I don't go hanging out with friends, nothing like that because I like to stay to myself. But like I said, if I see somebody in the streets, I'm going to help them. Because for one, it's like you helping a family member that's in need. No matter if they ain't no family, if they're a stranger, so what? That's why one day, like a couple of years ago, me and my girls are walking down the street, and this lady, she asked my oldest two, because that's who was with me, was my oldest two girls, and she stopped and asked my other two girls if they had a quarter, and they said no, and I said, wait a minute, I have one, and I took it out and gave it to the lady. Why? Because it's being kind. And people in this world don't know what being like love one another and being kind to another. Cause why? Cause they always go to violence. I'm doing good. I'm just sitting here. My husband's working on a friend's car, so I'm just on live talking. Nothing else to do. But I don't know. This world, I thought growing up, being a kid growing up, this world's not going to be as ugly as it is. Because I didn't see that a lot when I was growing up. I didn't see the ugliness, when I was 14, 15, 16, I didn't see how people was being treated and this and that. Thank you. But, being an adult, you have to think twice. It's like, when you was growing when everybody, like even adults now, when everybody's growing up, we didn't have nothing to worry about. Our parents did. Our parents had that opportunity to worry about their children. And then when you started growing up, being an adult, and then having kids and stuff like that, and then you had to think twice. Like, what did my mom teach me when I was younger? Let me do some of that backtracking when you was younger. Like, what did your mom teach you? Like the being safe and all that. You know what I mean? But this world, it's crazy nowadays. Like everybody has to go to gun violence and not sit there and think twice. Like, did my mom teach me this when I was younger to go shoot somebody because somebody said the wrong thing? No, I don't care. Like my growing up, my dad was alcoholic. He's 82 now. He used to work at a bar. Every single day every single night, he would come home and argue with my mom. Tell my mom, you're this, you're that, da da da. I hardly went to school because they would wake me up arguing at nighttime. But, you know, then me being a dog, me thinking, should I live my life like that? How I grew up when I was little? Like, should I go out and do drugs and drink and argue with my husband in front of my kids because that's how I was raised? No. No, you do better. You don't, you think twice about when you was a kid and what you went through until now you're an adult and you have your own family, you have your own kids. You have to think, let's not rely on our childhood, how we was raised. Or, you're an adult. You would, think twice about doing stuff. My dad used to hit me with a belt. I'm sure a lot of people on here, their parents were probably worse than my parents growing up. I'm sure you got beat, you got, your parents did drugs, something, another, you know what I mean? But you don't go by your childhood, though. You don't treat your kids like that. And then that's what I tell my kids. Like, no matter what, when you have kids one day, you understand what I'm trying to tell you. It's a whole difference when somebody has kids. Honestly, as an 90s baby, I think society and the world have become more crazy and dangerous than I was a younger and smaller boy. Yet I still choose not to live in fear. Yeah, they tell you not to live in fear because, when you live in fear, then it's just going to mess with your head. And then it's just going to make you, you know, you sit there and think, oh, I had a fear of my life when I was a kid because my parents did this to me and all that. And then you start thinking, as an adult, let's keep living that life and being in fear and getting all angry and all that. It's not good. Like I lived in fear. My dad used to come home all the time drunk, argue with mom, telling her, go do this. You're this and that. You're blah blah blah. You know, and that feared me as a little kid. But I'm not gonna keep that in. That's in the back of my head, not in the front of my head. That's in, like Jelly Roll's song. The rear view is bigger than the back. Or however he says it. I think that's how he says it. I can't remember the song now. Or the windshield's bigger than the rear view. That's how he says it in his song. That is for a reason, because you have to move forward, not backwards. There's a reason why the rear view is smaller than the windshield. Because you have to think that's in the past. We're in the future. Yeah, shit happens, and everything, but don't mean keep drilling on it. Don't treat people nasty in this world because you grew up bad or something. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, we're supposed to love one another, and that's how it should be. No matter what race you are, because, where I grew up in Detroit, there's black people all around. But I'm not going to go around and say, oh, yeah, I grew up with, the N word and this and that and blah, blah, and there this and that. No, because I grew up with black people around me. Even if I didn't grow up with black people around me, I'm still not going to, say shit about them. But it's just crazy. Like, they say Black Lives Matter. Black lives do matter. But white lives matter too. Now, like I was reading a comment on Facebook. That girl and Charlie Kirk that got killed. Do you think there's gonna be a riot for them? No. But I'm sure if like a white person stabbed a black person or two black people stabbed each other, there's gonna be a riot for it. But you ain't gonna see no riot happening for that Charlie or that girl that got killed on that train. And like I said, I'm not racist or anything because I have black family in my family. My niece, her kids are black, so I am not racist. So I'm gonna get that out here right now. But a black person stabbed that white girl. Is there gonna be a riot for her? Hell no.
I bet you people's already blowing it up now.
And it's crazy. Like, everybody's lives matter. Don't matter what color you are, what nationality you are. It don't matter. We are human beings. And that's what I don't get about people. People say, "Oh, because this person's Mexican, you shouldn't be around them," and this and that. So what? Don't matter. Or they shouldn't be in America and this and that. Like, so what? I mean, yeah, a lot of Mexicans come to America to get jobs and all that. Yeah, they're taking over jobs and this and that. But they're doing it for a reason, because they want to work for their families, because they have families and they need a job. Yeah, people shouldn't be over here from Mexico if they ain't allowed. But the ones that's allowed in the United States, people's talking about, oh, they're taking over jobs and this and that. Well, they have families too. They have to support. Like, what do you think? Us white people are taking over jobs too, and black people and Mexicans. So what? Like my daughter, where she goes to school at, she said, because the first school she went to, there wasn't a lot of black people in the school. So the school that she goes to now, there's like a lot of black people, and I told her, I said, we have black people in our family. We ain't racist. Be friends with them. And she said, is it okay to be friends with a black person? I said, yes, I don't care. I don't care if they're pink, white, purple, orange, green. It don't matter. And it shouldn't matter. We should love everybody. No matter what race they are, nationality they are. Nothing. It don't matter. In this world right now, it's fucking crazy. I'm glad that the shooter that shot Charlie, he's in custody. He was 22. I was looking at pictures of him, and like they say, you can't go by somebody's look to see if they're going through a lot of stuff. You have to talk to them to see how they're doing. You can't just look at somebody and say, "Oh, they might be going through a lot of stuff," or, "Oh, like I was saying about the picture, the kid, the 22-year-old didn't look like he was going through anything. Like in the picture, he looked like he was a normal person, but you never know. But don't mean to go shoot somebody. Don't mean to go kill somebody and say, oh, let's get on with our day. Because for one, you kill somebody and you try to run and hide, they're going to find you, no matter what, how many times you hide. Just like all these kidnappers and, all that. But like for the society today is not how it should be. Like it's crazy. That's what I fear with having 5 kids. This world is crazy.
Yeah, that's the same diaphragm.
And
right?
it's sick. This world is sick and crazy. There's too many sick people in this world, and it shouldn't be like that. Shouldn't. You sit there and think, if I walk out my door today, am I gonna get shot because I'm saying something wrong, and nobody likes it, and they found where I'm at? We shouldn't have to fear our lives like that. Where are we going? Where are we going? Alright, I'm gonna be back on here. Give me 1 second.
I'll be right back.